But you going and taking 4-year-olds, you snatching kids from high school.
This is that little thing called due process?
Well,
The set of The View ABC turned into a fiery forum this week as co-hosts Whoopi Goldberg and Alyssa Farah Griffin tackled the shocking deployment of 700 U.S. Marines and over 4,000 National Guardsmen to manage protests in Los Angeles following a series of aggressive ICE raids. What started as peaceful demonstrations against ICE detentions quickly escalated, not because of the protesters, but because of militarized force showing up uninvited, as Whoopi strongly pointed out. "My whole family's in LA," she said. "They said it was peaceful until suddenly these guys showed up and flipped everybody out." The federal government claims the troop deployments were necessary due to escalating violence, but locals on the ground, as well as The View's co-hosts, I see a different story, one where peaceful protests were disrupted by federal overreach. "There's no crisis in Los Angeles that ICE didn't create," one co-host declared, slamming the administration's insistence on targeting immigrants in sanctuary cities.
And so, in my view, there is no crisis in Los Angeles that ICE did not cause. That is the fact of the matter, right?
Alyssa Farah Griffin, a former White House official herself, raised another critical point. "We're talking about more U.S. forces in LA than we had during the wind-down in Afghanistan." Her tone was incredulous. "This is not what the military is for. They fight terrorists, not police U.S. streets." Whoopi and others argued this wasn't just about immigration, it was about power. California is the biggest economy in the U.S., and Trump's testing how far he can go with militarizing sanctuary states, one host said. They warned this could be a test run before cracking down on other liberal cities like New York. Meanwhile, others on the panel claimed the timing was no accident. With Trump's policies failing from tariffs damaging the economy to the collapse of his controversial immigration bill, this aggressive move in LA could be a distraction tactic meant to shift headlines and stir division. If this military escalation continues, the consequences could be deadly. Whoopi referenced the Kent State massacre, where 4 American students were killed by the National Guard during protests in 1970. "This could happen again if we're not careful," she warned. What's more, these actions are eroding trust between communities and law enforcement, especially when ICE is seen raiding workplaces, schools, and even donut shops, tearing families apart with no regard for due process. "These are people who pay taxes and get no benefits," one panelist said. "And you show up in tactical gear to drag them out like criminals? That's not justice, that's fear-mongering." The show also raised a powerful point about hypocrisy. Why wasn't the National Guard deployed when fans in Philadelphia burned cars and looted during a Super Bowl celebration? The difference, one host said bluntly, is the agenda. Whether it's celebrating a football win or protesting ICE brutality, the response should be consistent. Instead, what we're seeing is selective enforcement, racialized policy, and a disturbing trend toward authoritarianism.